Hi, welcome back. I'm Celeste, an intuitive writing coach, and today's a new moon. So I wanted to do a reading for the Writing Collective today. This reading is meant to be timeless. So if it's not the new moon and you resonate with the beginning of it or feel drawn to keep watching, there's maybe a message for you, but don't force it. If it doesn't feel right, it's not for you. I'm going to get started. I'm going to pull a few cards for the central theme. What's the central theme, Spirit? What do you have for us today? One right there. Ooh, got the thinker again. Pull one more. One right there wants it, doesn't it? The fates. Oh, interesting. Okay. So what I'm seeing right here is an energy of somebody who is really kind of in their mind space, thinking about their destiny, which is kind of funny because as we know, something that is destined is not really something that you can think and plan for. It's more something that you have to surrender to. And so I think this person is thinking about possibly why they can't surrender, or they're thinking about the possibilities of changing their fate, which is something that we talk about in spiritual community sometimes. We talk about soul contracts, and we talk about the ability to rewrite them when we think that we're kind of done with them, but they don't seem to be moving on their own. So that's kind of an interesting energy. We'll see what else comes out. Maybe I'll have some more to say about that, but that's what I'm getting right now. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Spirit, what are the energies this writer is working through right now? Like some recent past and current energies. Okay. Some more recent energies. Person's been struggling with control issues. Okay. And I'm getting from the Queen of Wands, struggling with control issues and with kind of this is like the energy of wanting everything right now and also being a little bit impatient. The Queen of Wands can be a little impatient. She's certainly a woman who is in charge of her own destiny, or man. This is a feminine energy of allowing and nurturing, but it can be for a man or a woman. I'm gonna pull. That one didn't want me. I'm gonna pull a couple more. I'm going to go just a couple more to get a little more information about this. What are these current energies? A little more about these current energies, Spirit. Okay, there have been some opportunities that they have passed up, or they feel like they're wondering if they passed up some opportunities that they maybe should have gone for. Here's the King of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups would have been an opportunity to do something that you were really, really interested in. Maybe these two Maybe these aren't things that you've passed up. Maybe they are. Maybe they're things that are on the table right now. The King of Wands would be, this might be like the big goal to go after your passion and do the big thing and really feel in your power about it. And then the Knight of Cups, these are both doing energies as well, because they're the king and the knight. It's the masculine energy, and again, it can be masculine in the feminine as opposed to being a man. And the cups energy there is, it's more of a, what I'm getting from it right now is more of a service. This is more of a service energy. This is kind of the knight that's connected to his heart chakra. And so it would be the doing energy that's connected to your heart, that's connected to caring for and serving possibly a community or possibly someone else. So let's keep going. I want to get some energies that are crossing this writer right now. What are some challenges that this writer is going through? I think we've already talked a little bit about it, but I want to get a little bit more energy about this control issues and this struggle right here. Because this struggle doesn't have to be a fight. This can be like this can be the kind of jousting that is good for the creative process. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, we have the Magician, that somebody hasn't been able to create the thing that they want to create. So it's felt less playful and less in control lately. And then we have this inverted Two of Swords. So again, that speaks to choices that are perhaps, I'm feeling like there's choices that are on the table. Maybe like options of ways that you could go. And you're not sure which, because nothing seems to be working out. Any other energies crossing this writer right now? Okay. Holding on. So this guy's about holding on a little bit too tight. When he's reversed, that can be an energy of needing to surrender, being ready to surrender, but maybe not quite ready. Maybe knowing that they need to and not being quite ready to. So what I'm sensing here is a lot of like stuck energy. It's like stuck at the crossroads, multiple choices, not knowing which way to go. And really, being afraid, for whatever reason, to let go of maybe of any of these options. Because sometimes when you don't know which one to choose, you kind of want to hoard them all. And this energy is kind of, when it's upright, that's what that is. That's hoarding. Hoarding resources, hoarding opportunities, hoarding all sorts of things. It's a very like clingy, this is mine kind of an energy. See how he's got his arms wrapped around that pentacle. All right, so let's get into some things like what is going right for this person. Let's pull some cards for what is supporting this person. Because sometimes it's hard to see when you're stuck in all of this. This is a lot of energy and a lot of conflict. A lot of what ifs. And I want to pull some cards. These cards are a little bit lighter, this deck. And I just want to get a different perspective because I feel like this person is stuck in this crossed energy. I'm wondering, what do I do? What do I do? How do I make things happen? I can't seem to make anything happen. I can't let go of this. I'm hanging on. So what is supporting this writer right now? So there's a lot of ways that you can read this, but I'm an intuitive reader, and I read what Spirit gives me, not necessarily what would be in the book, because the cards speak to me in their own way. And what I'm seeing here is that this person, so a lot of these cards are inverted, right? A lot of them have been inverted. The challenges were all inverted, and these are all inverted. So what that's telling me is that this person, this card is about celebration. This person just needs they need to change their view here. They're looking at everything kind of all upside down. And what would be helpful for this person, what would be supportive, is if they had some community, if they felt like they had somebody they could talk to. Okay? This is that Eight of Swords card where this person is feeling trapped. But if you look at the picture, okay, the person is not trapped. If the person, do you see the little string that are binding her hands? It's not tied. The implication here is that that's not tied and that she could get loose from that. And if she can get that loose, she can get that blindfold off. And if she can get the blindfold off, she can see that she can just step out of this circle. There is nothing literally trapping her here. This is the trap of her mind. And what's supporting her, I think, is that she understands that this is a trap of her mind and she wants to get out. So what's supporting her is that she's ready to release this prison. She's ready. She just needs to change her view. And this is the Three of Wands. This is the waiting. This is it's the readiness that I was just talking about, all right? But it's all kind of on hold, okay? So when something's on hold, we can look at it like it's delayed, or we can look at it like it's kind of in escrow. Like this person has all this goodness coming to them as soon as they can let go, as soon as they make a decision, as soon as they take action. Okay, because that's the other thing about a lot of these energies is really the only fast moving energy that we have here is we have this Knight, this service offer here. This could also be a writing professional that you're hoping can help you. Or maybe that's offering help already. This could be somebody that is kind of coming in to take care of your kind of to take care of your baby a little bit. If it's a book you're talking about. If it's not a book, it could be someone offering partnership. Someone offering some help. Just another way of looking at it. Another thing that might fit. And then of course, this energy, if it's not reversed, this energy is very active and very celebratory. So it feels to me like there's potential that's sitting in escrow as soon as you make a choice. I'm going to pull a couple more. Oh, I like that one. Three of Pentacles is somebody to work with. These are partnerships. Like the Three of Cups. This is that celebratory, I've got friends, I've got my peeps around me. These are like your work peeps. These are people who are gonna help you succeed. It's teamwork. So you've got that supporting you. Whether you've drawn that in or not, it's right around the corner. If it's not there for you right now, it could be coming right around the corner. And I think it's funny that I'm asking for what's supporting this writer, and what's coming out is a lot of challenging energy. And so I can see why this person is thinking a lot and asking, is this right for me? Am I really on the right path? Because the Seven of Wands this is an energy of kind of, I see all these wands pointing at her, and she's like poised on the edge of the cliff, like, oh no, like, what do I do now? But again, you can look at that energy as an opportunity to do something differently. Since this is all about control, I'm going to pull some cards for some guidance. Okay, surrender to spirit. Surrender to spirit. That's trusting in the divine, trusting in your guidance. Not overthinking things. Overthinking and control is all about not trusting. Sometimes you even have to trust the struggle, okay? Sometimes, again, this feels an awful lot like a fight, but it's really just the kind of jousting that gets you to where you need to be. And when you've done it a few times, you start to recognize which it is. Seven of Wands. It feels like you can't go on, but you're almost there. Surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with uniqueness and worth that come from just being you. Surrender your belief in scarcity. So this is where a lot of struggle can come from, is the belief that you're never going to make it, the belief that there isn't enough, and the universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. So letting go. Sometimes we think that the thing that we have to surrender is the dream. And what this card is really saying that no, it's not the dream. It's not your goal of being a writer that you need to surrender. It's your belief in scarcity. That's the thing that's blocking you up. It gets in our way. This belief that there isn't enough room for us, or this belief that we're not good enough to make it, or this belief that so-and-so did, the things that I wanted to do, so now there's no room for me. And a couple more cards for guidance. I'm gonna pull a few of these archetype cards. And these can show a shadow and a light. I'm gonna pull 3 of them, and we're gonna look at both the light and the shadow. Because this person's got a lot of shadow coming up, right? They're not really seeing their light. Like they're almost like overthinking it. This is their life. This belief in fate, this belief in magic. And this person is overthinking it. They've got it locked under control, and you know, they're like, it's this or this, it's either this or this, and they can't really see beyond what's in front of them right now. It's another thing. Sometimes when we get locked into the how of what it is that we're trying to do, we get really specific with our wishes. We make the wishes, and then we think we're sending them out into the world just by doing the vision board or making the wish or holding on to the dream and checking on it. But sometimes what we end up doing is holding on too specifically to how. And the how needs to be surrendered as well. Because you never know what might happen for you. You might miss an opportunity because you were so locked into thinking that it was going to be this other way. Missing an opportunity right here. Saying no to a perfectly good cup. No, thank you. Arms are crossed. Nope. Don't want it. Waiting for something else. Waiting for something better. I thought that was just one, and it's three, and I didn't want that many, so I'm going to put them back. Okay. The Prince. The Knight of Cups. Oh, okay. I like it. So, the shadow side of things can be our challenge to acknowledge, and our tendency is to want to stuff it underneath, like where no one else can see it. We want to cover that up. We don't want anybody to see that. And so sometimes in order to do that, what we do is we go to the light attribute, what they call the light attribute on these cards. We go to the light side of the thing, and we try to like shine that brighter in hopes that this will go away. But what happens is the more you try to shine, the more your repressed side kind of tries to like pop to the surface. It's like a beach ball that you're holding underwater. So the seeker, the light attribute is that it says thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. And the shadow attribute is an inability to commit to a path once it's found. So if we I'm going to go toward writing with this, and that may be the way that you see it, or you may have immediately recognized something else. But the way that I'm going to look at this is that when we're writing and when we're trying to get somewhere with our writing, we're trying to switch gears to marketing. We're trying to kind of peddle our project, find somebody to represent it, somebody to publish it, somebody to sell it for us. Or if we're self-publishing, we have decided that we're going to go it alone and we're going to do all these things and we're going to become the expert in everything. And so the seeker would go do their homework. They're going to learn all they can learn about either submissions or self-publishing, whichever it is. They're going to just go at it like it's a full-time job. They're going to learn all they can, and they're going to try to put that to use at its best, At its worst, you're doing all this work and you're getting nowhere, or you're in analysis paralysis mode. So you're frantically doing, frantically learning, and applying nothing. So be mindful of where you're at with your energy. Sometimes all it takes is to ask yourself the question. When you're deep in, research mode, ask yourself, do I really need to do this? Is this something that I could hire somebody else to do for me? Is this something I need help with? Maybe I'm not a master at it yet and I'm not going to be able to learn it alone. Maybe I need to ask for somebody to help me. Maybe I can learn this later. So those are good questions to ask yourself. The Prince. So the light attribute, this card, like I said, this reminds me of this card. It always does. The Knight of Cups. He's kind of got that Prince archetype. He's got he's offering his cup, and he's got this little offering of this bouquet, and he's gonna hop in there with his offer to his lover. But it doesn't have to be love. It can be other things. It can be something else. It can be just something that's very heartfelt. So the Prince in his light attribute is a romantic charmer with potential for power. And then the shadow attribute is using power for self-aggrandizement. And so what's coming to me from this one is something about our relationships as writers with our writing community. How are we approaching, okay, there's two things that are coming to mind. The first thing is, how are we approaching our relationships with the writing community online? Are we being charming and trying to gain power? Are we just trying to amass a following? Or are we actually trying to make friends and contacts and actually network? So what is it that you're trying to do? Be honest with yourself. And if you catch yourself slipping into the shadow side of, okay, I'm only doing this because I feel like I have to, and I don't really want to, and I don't really like that person or what they're doing over there. If you get stuck in that, this is a reminder that you are the one in charge, and you can call yourself out on it and get yourself facing in the right direction with this. The other side of this is that this one's maybe for someone, but not for everybody. I'm not getting a really strong thing on this, but it's just a little thing, a little note for somebody. And that is perhaps that somebody in your life something about someone in your life maybe kind of, I don't want to say manipulating. I can't really get the right word for it. My brain's not giving me the right word for it. Maybe someone in your life, though, is kind of being charming to you for selfish purposes. And maybe that is affecting, maybe they're kind of getting into your decision-making process. Maybe they're making you doubt yourself. And again, it's not really them that makes you doubt yourself. It's you that makes you doubt yourself. It's the way that you relate to this person. It's what you allow them to do. And so the answer to that is very simply to, if that's going on, to just recognize it and stop letting that person change the way that you're looking at this whole situation that we've been talking to. If someone's like poking holes in your decisions and they're making it sound good, that doesn't mean that you need to follow them. It doesn't mean that they're your enemy, but it doesn't mean that you need to follow them either. So be kind of mindful of the relationships in your life that are close, but that people that might be kind of leading you off of the path that you know you're on. Because there can be people who give you advice to go against your own guidance, if you know what I mean. And they may have reasons for doing that. They may be a little selfish without even realizing it sometimes. So again, I don't think that's for everybody. That was maybe for one person. And then we have the storyteller. The light attribute is the ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. And the shadow attribute is making up tales that harm others. So a lot comes out here with this for me. I think that this can be a huge source of conflict and stress in the writing process, is that sometimes you have written a story that maybe you're not so sure about now that it's gathered some criticism, maybe it's been out on the market for a little while and nobody's taken a chance on it, and you're wondering why. I think that we have to make sure that we believe in the stories that we're telling. I think that's really what this is about making sure that we're not forcing, we're not in this forceful energy. We're not in this, I'm not going to let it go energy. Sometimes we have a story that we can't place. I mean, it's happened to me. I totally get it. It's happened to me. You have a story that for whatever reason, people just didn't want it. They didn't buy it. And you can go out and self-publish that. It's within your rights as a person, but there might be reasons why that story didn't quite make it out in the form that it was in. And you know, there might not be. I'm not saying that there definitely is. I'm saying that you have to use your gut and you have to listen to some of the feedback that you're getting. And if people are hesitant to take on a project, it might just be because it's not quite right for them. And it might be because you should make some adjustments to it. I think your gut knows. I think your gut always knows, because when something's not hitting the people that you want it to hit quite right, you want to make it right. Because I shouldn't even say most of us, but a lot of us know who we're writing for when we're writing. And when we give it to those people and they don't like it, we don't feel good. It doesn't feel good. I shouldn't say we don't feel good. I should say it doesn't feel good. And that is a good sign to have a look at that. All right. I'm going to pull a few more cards. I want to pull a few cards about where this is heading. Best case scenario of where this is heading. Say you get back and say you let it all go. Say you do the release work that you need to do. Say that you have a closer look at relaxing into who you are as a writer, and you really believe in your story and you're working on your scarcity beliefs, whatever it is that you're having a hard time letting go of. So best case scenario, where's this going? Three of Cups. It's interesting that came out in the reverse again. Seven of Wands again. And the Hierophant. So this is about someone else having power over the situation, and that's what this is about. I was like, why is it still? Something's on hold here, and the decision isn't yours. So what I see here is that you might need to make a choice about whether you're going to move forward with this project that you, if the issue is a project that you're not having a hard time finding a place for, you need to make a decision about whether, who's going to be in charge of this. Are you going to continue putting all your eggs in this one basket, or are you going to go another direction? And if you go in this direction, make sure that you believe in this story. Make sure that you really believe that it's representing who you are and who you want to be seen as a writer. Anything else, Spirit? It's almost like my deck is upside down, right? You'd think I would switch the deck right side up, but I think they're coming out upside down for a reason. Okay, that's sideways, so I'm gonna... Okay. This is like... This is like, don't give up on something, okay? Don't give up on what, Spirit? I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna clarify this. Clarify the Page of Swords. Okay, you really want this. This is not giving up. There's a little bit of stubborn energy in this reading. Okay, there's the fear of being, of not making it, basically. Here's the fear of not making it. And here's the fear of walking away. So this is still a dream. And this, okay, we got fate here. See the stars? This is the wish card and this is the fate card. All right, so I think the message here is don't give up, but stay adaptable, and don't forget that you get to choose to let things happen a different way than you were hoping. So one way might be closed or might seem closed. Putting a manuscript or a story or a project of some, or a creative project of some sort aside for a while doesn't mean you're giving up on it. It can mean that the answer is not now, and maybe you'll circle back on it when you have a better idea of what to do with it. Maybe there's people that are just not, maybe there are people who are just not moving on it. That could be too. Maybe what you're waiting for is for another opportunity to try again, a different way, a different route. But maybe what you're waiting for is for someone else who's kind of on hold, because we did have this Hierophant card here. That's the guy that's in charge. And he's holding off all the celebrations. So how to stay in your power. We'll wrap this up. I wish it was a more positive reading. I don't really like to see readings that feel like there's not really a positive turn. I think if there's any positive turn, it's don't give up. You never know how things are going to work out. And that there is still hope. That dream is still alive. So don't put it out. Don't give up just because it's not happening the way you wanted it to happen. I'm knowledge. It's about learning, staying with it and learning. It's got the little Sagittarius on her cup. Little constellation. I embrace change. It's about not being rigid. Embrace change. I'm sacred. Okay, well, I hope this reading was helpful to you. And if it helped you, if you would like and subscribe, it would help other writers find me and my guidance. And if you want to work with me, I do one-on-one coaching and writing mentorships. You can find all my info on my About page or at arachneproject.com. Bye.